Nice day, isn't it? I had a discussion with a friend last night about believing things. He's got his agenda, I've got my agenda. He's a young earth creationist. It's quite interesting. He's the only one I know. Yeah, he seems quite keen to well, I don't think he's keen to find evidence to support his position, but he's quite keen to which is a good thing, you know, to undermine bad science, which is what we should do with bad science, really, is undermine it. Not undermine it, but, you know, disprove it or prove otherwise. It's a good thing to do. So it was quite interesting, you know. We watched this documentary about this well, no, it was a speech actually by this guy who he was not only a young Earth believer, you know, young solar system, a young universe person. I don't know, eh? It's like, it really does rather look like willful ignorance, which is, I don't know, I think it's actually harmful. It's actually quite harmful, willful ignorance. I had a few Captain Picard moments. Not that I'm on his level in terms of intellect. I'm quite a bit under par, but nonetheless, I can still have Captain Picard moments when listening to these guys. The way he's speaking is largely what it is. Like, well, these so-called know-it-all scientists think that they know all about electromagnetism and planets, and they don't. So therefore, yes, well, therefore, okay, therefore they don't know as much as perhaps they claim. And so on and so on and so on and so on and so on. And, you know, just putting forth no evidence whatsoever to support their claims, their hypotheses. I'm sorry if that seems like unfair, but I mean, it's kind of, well, I'm not sorry at all, really. Yeah, I mean, put forth evidence and refute the vast quantity of evidence that, like, okay, you know, how well do we know what the speed of light is? How easy is it for us to measure that? I think it's actually pretty well measured. This is, of course, one of the common refutations for those young Earth people, you know, young universe. We can see things that are pretty old, and we know that they're pretty old because if they weren't pretty old, we would not be able to see them. Speed of light, blah blah blah. You know, it's just like, I don't know. I mean, a 3-year-old with a little bit of education could totally refute all their arguments with you know, a couple of sentences, and thoroughly, you know, properly. Yeah, you want to be a smart 3-year-old, but nonetheless, as part of a bit of a point of view exchange, right? I wanted this guy to read Alan Carr's book about smoking cessation because he smokes too much, and I personally found it quite helpful. it goes really into a lot of detail. Well, his larger book does anyway, the small one doesn't. It goes into a lot of detail about the lies addicts tell themselves. And when you're sitting there watching it as an addict, it's it really hits home in quite a good way. And he's so positive with it all. Like, he's really emphasizing again and again, just getting it into your head, how many pluses and upsides there are to not smoking, even if you didn't have to pay for it. Just so many. It's you'd have to be a sensible person to want to enjoy breathing oxygen, which is pretty nice actually. It's pretty nice. It's a bit of a rambling kind of a thing, just all the things that are going on in my mind. I really want to trigger people to question their beliefs. I think that's pretty much always a good thing. If you believe in something strongly and it's a really good system and it's working really well, and you question it, it's still a good thing. If you believe in something strongly, or not even believe in something strongly, but if your language structure is causing you to think a certain way, and it's like really super positive, and it's working really well for your society, yourself, your planet, the other people on your planet, then it's great, to question it and to really examine it closely. And the same goes if your language and your what people commonly accept to be the truth, the common thing, what you get told and what have you. Not what you get told, but just what's implied in the language again and 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 again for your lifetime. If that stuff is got just a couple of skewed kind of views and falsehoods in it, then it's probably a good idea just to figure out what those falsehoods are. It's good to do this process a few times, and you figure out what they are, maybe write it down what they are, and then just spend a bit of time thinking about it and talking with people who you like talking to with, and then you can change your personal language a bit to a more sensible, realistic one. Like in a lot of human languages, things aren't, the truth isn't, the reality isn't what reality is in English, for example, or French, or German, and so forth and so on. And now that the situation on Earth, it isn't what it used to be at all, especially for us, I think it's really hugely beneficial. Hugely, I don't think there's that much you can do that's going to be beneficial that doesn't stem from changing the way that you think and see the world, or not necessarily changing it, but just continually having a willingness, like a conscious willingness to adjust your thoughts based on what? Now, what do you base a belief system on? Do you base it on what you can see and what's real? Do you base it on what's working the best? or what will continue to work best for a long time? Or do you base it on what has worked in the past when the situation was quite different to what it is now? I don't know. I mean, you can figure that one out. Okay, I think I might leave my little ramble there. I don't know what I'm going to call that little ramble, but I'm going to call it, I guess, what is a good question for today? Perhaps you can think of a question that you don't want to ask yourself. Particularly much. Something that makes you feel uncomfortable. And just like get ready to cut yourself some slack, because you know you grew up being told stuff, well, not being told stuff, not because that implies that someone, you know, them telling you. It's just our language reinforces again and again and again and again and again things. It tells us how to perceive. It tells us, you know, we tell ourselves how to perceive the universe, the world, whatever, you know, and how things are, and where we are in it. Yeah. So I don't know. If that stimulates some kind of long process that you have to go through to figure something out, then that'll be a good thing. I'm not keen to like push my views onto folks particularly. Well, in a way I wouldn't mind doing so, some of them, but I don't really see that much value in it. I see more value in individuals going through processes of figuring stuff out. Yeah. Alright, I'm going to leave that there, and I might ramble on a bit more later.